In the year 1362, after the death of his father, Sultan Orhan I, Sultan Murad I ascended to the throne of the Ottoman Empire. His reign marked a critical turning point in Ottoman history, setting the stage for the empire's monumental expansion and solidifying its role as a dominant force in both the Balkans and Anatolia. Murad I, who had been groomed for leadership under the guidance of his father, Orhan, proved to be an ambitious and capable ruler, ready to push the borders of the Ottoman Empire even further. Murad's rise to power came at a time when the Ottoman state was on the cusp of greatness. The conquest of Adrianople, modern-day Edirne, in 1361, had already provided the Ottomans with a significant stronghold in Europe. Under his father's rule, the Ottomans had secured key territories in Anatolia and began expanding into the Balkans. But with Murad I now at the helm, the empire's ambitions reached new heights. His reign would transform the Ottomans from a regional power into a global empire. Murad's initial legacy was built on his military prowess, diplomacy, and strategic vision. One of his first major actions as Sultan was to continue the Ottoman conquest of the Balkans. He was determined to solidify Ottoman control over the newly acquired territories and expand their influence into neighboring regions. His army, bolstered by his father's reforms, was one of the most disciplined and formidable fighting forces in the world. Murad's military strategy was heavily focused on expanding Ottoman territory in Europe, particularly in the Balkans, where various kingdoms were fragmented and often at odds with each other. In 1363, he defeated the Bulgarian forces at the Battle of Adrianople, securing Ottoman dominance in the region. The capture of the strategic fortress allowed the Ottomans to strengthen their hold over the Balkans and solidify their position as a major European power. A pivotal moment in Murad's reign came with the victory at the Battle of Kosovo in 1389. The battle, fought between the Ottoman forces and a coalition of Serbs and their allies, became one of the defining moments of Murad's rule. Although the battle was not a decisive win for either side, it marked the beginning of the decline of Serbian power and the expansion of Ottoman influence in the region. Sultan Murad I's forces inflicted heavy losses on the Serbian army, and although Prince Lazar Hrebeljanović, the Serbian ruler, was killed in the battle, the Ottomans did not immediately press their advantage. Instead, they used the victory as a stepping stone to further consolidate their power in the Balkans. Murad's leadership also saw the introduction of key administrative reforms that would lay the groundwork for the empire's future success. He established a system of devshirme, the recruitment of Christian boys from conquered territories, who were then trained as elite soldiers and administrators. This system not only helped fill the ranks of the Janissary Corps, the elite military unit of the Ottomans, but also helped integrate the diverse peoples of the empire into the central administration. One of the most significant aspects of Murad's reign was his establishment of the Ottoman Millet System. This system, which granted a certain degree of autonomy to religious communities within the empire, allowed the Ottomans to rule over a diverse and multi-ethnic population without major unrest. It was a revolutionary policy at the time, one that ensured the loyalty of Christian, Jewish, and Muslim communities within the empire by giving them the freedom to govern their own religious and civil affairs. The Millet System became one of the defining features of Ottoman governance, contributing to the stability and longevity of the empire. Murad also worked tirelessly to secure his position domestically. Despite his military successes, he faced significant challenges from within the empire. His rule was not without opposition, particularly from other Ottoman princes, some of whom sought to challenge his authority. However, Murad's ability to maintain control over the empire and secure loyalty from his subjects was instrumental in ensuring the stability and growth of the empire during his reign. His reign marked a period of significant cultural and economic development as well. Under Murad's leadership, the Ottomans continued to build upon the architectural and artistic achievements initiated by his father. New mosques, palaces, and public buildings were constructed, further solidifying the empire's cultural influence. Trade routes were expanded, and the Ottoman economy flourished as the empire became increasingly integrated into the growing trade networks of Europe, Asia, and Africa. In conclusion, Sultan Murad I's early legacy was defined by his military conquests, diplomatic strategies, and domestic reforms. His reign not only secured Ottoman power in the Balkans, but also laid the foundation for the empire's continued expansion into Europe and beyond. His ability to balance military aggression with strategic governance and his reforms in military and administrative systems marked him as one of the most influential rulers in Ottoman history. Murad's legacy would live on through the continued success of the Ottoman Empire, which would reach its zenith under his successors. The early years of Sultan Murad I's reign set the stage for a series of military campaigns that would solidify Ottoman power and establish the empire as a dominant force in Europe and Asia. Murad, known for his military expertise and strategic foresight, expanded the empire's borders significantly during his rule, especially in the Balkans. He faced challenges from both external enemies and internal political strife. But through a combination of military strength, political savvy, and administrative reforms, Murad I secured the foundations of the future Ottoman Empire. Expansion in the Balkans. Murad's conquest of the Balkans was both methodical and relentless. The region, with its fractured kingdoms and cities weakened by years of conflict, presented an opportunity for the Ottomans to expand. Murad's success in the Balkans was not solely due to military might, but also because of his ability to exploit divisions among the local rulers and win their support. Through strategic marriages, alliances, and the deployment of diplomatic measures, Murad ensured that the Ottoman Empire would be seen as a powerful force, ready to take advantage of the region's vulnerabilities. One of the most significant military achievements during Murad's reign was the Battle of Kosovo in 1389. This battle, fought between the Ottoman forces under Sultan Murad and a Serbian-led coalition commanded by Prince Lazar Rebeljanovich, is often regarded as one of the most pivotal events in the history of the Balkans. Although the battle was indecisive, both sides suffering heavy casualties, it marked the beginning of the decline of Serbian power and the rise of the Ottomans as the dominant force in the region. The Battle of Kosovo also had a profound impact on Murad's reputation as a leader. After the battle, he was not only seen as a conqueror, but also as a protector of Muslim interests in the Balkans. Murad's forces systematically dismantled the power of the Serbian kingdom, leaving it weakened and vulnerable to further Ottoman incursions. The death of Prince Lazar, although not an immediate blow to the Serbs, paved the way for Ottoman control over much of the Balkans in the coming decades. Consolidating Ottoman power. After the Battle of Kosovo, Sultan Murad continued his military campaigns to secure the Balkans and expand Ottoman territory. He turned his focus to consolidating Ottoman control over key cities and fortresses that would serve as military and administrative centers for the empire. Under his leadership, the Ottomans captured several important cities, including Srebrenica and Skopje, which would remain integral to Ottoman control of the region for centuries to come. Murad's military campaigns were marked by the use of advanced siege tactics and the establishment of strategic fortifications along key trade routes. By fortifying cities like Sofia and Nis, he ensured that Ottoman troops could move freely across the Balkans without facing significant resistance from local forces. These military strongholds also provided security for Ottoman subjects, allowing for greater stability within the empire. But Murad's success was not solely based on military force. It was also rooted in his ability to govern effectively. He introduced reforms that would prove crucial for the long-term success of the Ottoman Empire. One of Murad's most significant reforms was the creation of a professional standing army, a move that would distinguish the Ottomans from other empires of the time. Murad's army was a well-organized and highly disciplined force, largely due to the establishment of the Janissary Corps. Originally composed of Christian boys who were recruited through the Devshirme system, the Janissaries were trained in military tactics, governance, and loyalty to the Sultan. They were an elite fighting force that served as the backbone of the Ottoman military. The Janissaries became one of the most feared and effective military units in Europe and the Middle East, securing Ottoman power across a vast and diverse empire. Internal challenges and the Devshirme system. While Murad was securing Ottoman territory and military power abroad, he also had to contend with internal challenges. Rival factions within the empire, including factions from the Ottoman royal family, sought to undermine Murad's rule. But Murad proved to be a shrewd leader, consolidating his power and eliminating threats to his authority. His methodical approach to governance allowed him to maintain control over the growing empire. A crucial element of Murad's rule was his establishment of the Devshirme system, a process in which Christian boys were recruited from conquered territories, converted to Islam, and trained to serve in the elite Janissary Corps or as administrators within the empire. This system, while controversial, helped to build a loyal and effective ruling class that was completely devoted to the Sultan and the empire. The Devshirme system played a key role in Murad's success. Not only did it provide the Ottomans with a steady supply of trained soldiers and administrators, but it also helped to integrate conquered Christian communities into the empire. By offering these young men an opportunity to rise in the empire's ranks, Murad ensured the loyalty of Christian populations in his territories. This policy, while harsh, was seen by some as a way to promote social mobility within the empire, albeit through forced service. Murad's administrative reforms and the Millet System. Murad I was also responsible for significant administrative reforms that helped the empire function more efficiently. One of the most important aspects of Murad's reign was the establishment of the Millet System, which allowed for greater religious autonomy within the empire. This system enabled Christian, Jewish, and Muslim communities to govern their own religious and civil affairs under the supervision of the Ottoman state. The Millet System not only promoted religious tolerance, but also ensured that the empire's diverse populations remained loyal to the Sultan. Through the Millet System, Murad sought to maintain order and cohesion within the empire by allowing different religious and ethnic groups to manage their internal affairs, while also fostering a sense of loyalty to the Ottoman state. This system was ahead of its time, providing a model for governance in an empire that spanned multiple continents and encompassed a wide variety of cultures and faiths. In addition to the Millet System, Murad also sought to establish a more centralized administration, ensuring that the empire's resources were efficiently distributed and that taxes were collected effectively. His reforms allowed for the development of a professional bureaucracy, with officials who were loyal to the Sultan and responsible for managing the empire's vast territories. Murad's legacy and the long-term impact. Sultan Murad I's reign was marked by military successes, diplomatic triumphs, and a series of groundbreaking reforms that helped lay the foundation for the future Ottoman Empire. His reign solidified Ottoman power in the Balkans, established the empire as a dominant force in Europe, and set the stage for future conquests under his successors. Murad's ability to govern a diverse empire, integrate conquered peoples, and build a strong military ensured that the Ottoman Empire would endure for centuries. Perhaps Murad's most significant legacy lies in the development of the Ottoman military and administrative structures. His creation of the Janissary Corps, the expansion of the Devshirme system, and the introduction of the Millet System helped to shape the Ottoman Empire into one of the most successful and enduring empires in history. By the time of his death in 1389, Murad I had transformed the Ottoman Empire into a major European power. His ability to secure and govern the Balkans, coupled with his military reforms, paved the way for future Ottoman rulers to expand the empire into Europe, the Middle East, and North Africa.